Genesis hasn't been around for very long, and it's quite a tall task to take on the established industry giants when it comes to luxury and performance in BMW, Mercedes, and Audi. But Genesis has come out swinging with a number of very compelling products that represent not only luxury and performance, but also great value, especially when compared to those German competitors. 2025 is a refresh year for the G80, bringing on a lot of improvements to an already excellent product. Power still comes from either a 2.5-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, a very respectable base engine, or this twin-turbo 3.5-liter V6. This potent powertrain makes 375 horsepower and 391 pound-feet of torque, and either way you get an 8-speed automatic transmission. But there is no mild hybrid system offered with the G80, so we're looking at 16 city, 24 highway in terms of fuel economy, which is not great compared to the rest of the class. I really wish you could get the E-supercharger on this one, but you're going to have to bump up to the G90 if you want that. And Genesis dropped the rear drive version for 2024, meaning your only drivetrain option is going to be a rear-biased all-wheel drive system. And the Sport Prestige that I have here gets an electronically controlled limited slip differential in the rear, as well as rear wheel steering. New for 2025 are these micro lens array headlights. These are standard across the board, and what that is it's fancy speak for a bazillion little LED headlights. It's bazillion with a B. I actually counted them all. And what those do is they provide better visibility at night while not blinding the guy in the Genesis coupe in front of you. And there are also some design updates to both the front and rear fascias, keeping it modern and classy with consistent Genesis design language. There are some new wheel designs available as well, but only when you get the base engine, and 4-piston monoblock brakes are now standard up front. But with this one being the 3.5T Sport Prestige, it's got the beefed up brakes with the bigger rotors, and these are ventilated in both the front and rear, and we're on the big 20-inch wheels as well. No matter what, they are going to be wrapped in all seasons, though these are Pirelli P0s. It's also worth noting that you have a staggered setup, so you've got wider tires here in the back since it is a rear-biased all-wheel drive system, so you get a little bit better grip from the primary drive wheels. Power folding mirrors are going to be standard, and these will tilt when you go in reverse. They also have the puddle lights where it'll project the Genesis logo onto the ground at night. Also standard is going to be keyless lock and unlock from both the front and the back doors. And whether you're just trying to be quiet or maybe you've skipped arm day for the last 30 years, this does have soft closed doors. A hands-free power liftgate is going to be standard, and there's even a real spare in here. Cargo volume is slightly bigger than an E-Class, but quite a bit smaller than a BMW 5 Series, and there's no folding the seats down, just a pass-through in the middle. If you want to be able to take a walk with your car, then you are going to have to go up into the Sport Prestige. I guess this is also probably helpful for parking. That function is right here on the key fob, as is remote start. I love seeing that on the fob and not having to rely solely on an app. While the trunk is fairly small for the size of the car, the back seats are where all that space went. They are super spacious and comfortable, especially compared to the competition. They're also contoured and heated as standard. Center is the fold-down armrest with your heat settings and some cup holders and some extra storage space, as well as some USB-Cs in here. Really nice place to be back here. And we've got some blinders back here to keep the looky-loos out, and I guess the sun as well. Maybe you're trying to take a nap, maybe you're a vampire, no judgment here. And something I'm probably way more excited about than I should be, Genesis paint matches the child seat anchors back here. So those are Vatna gray to match the exterior color of the car. The front seats are also very comfortable, especially with the Napa leather and massage, which come with the Sport Prestige package, and the ventilation, which comes with the advanced and above, and of course the standard heat. Now, if you haven't noticed the updates for 2025, well, you should probably get your eyes checked, but this widescreen is new. Apparently it's contagious, and the G80 has been spending too much time with BMW, Mercedes, and Cadillac. But it is clear and classy and quick, and you have the option of either using touch or using the dial and button system down here to adjust your ambient lighting, your nav settings, your driver's assist features, your sound, and everything else that you need to adjust. Plus, Android Auto and Apple CarPlay are now wireless through this system, a big upgrade here for 2025, especially when combined with the wireless phone charger here, which surprisingly is not standard on the G80, and neither is the heated armrest. Note that that is only on the driver's side, so make sure to rub your warm elbow in your passenger's face. The steering wheel is heated as standard though, which is also not for the passenger, and a little bit less surprised about that one. But the steering wheel has gotten the same treatment as the GV80 I was just in, with the metal buttons being replaced by this high contrast glossy black stuff. And I'm not the biggest fan of this little touch slider. This feels a little bit like a step backwards to me, but it is a lot easier to see at quick glance. Maybe it is a step forward. And if you're an audiophile, you'll enjoy listening to your audio files through a Bang & Olufsen sound system instead of the outgoing Lexicon system. This is a clear upgrade available on all but the base G80. Also of note are the standard auto-dimming mirror with home link, a spot for your sunglasses, and a nice giant pano sunroof. When it comes to the driving experience, there's really not much to complain about. Don't worry, I'll find some things anyway, but note that anything that I do complain about is going to end up being pretty nitpicky. Power is excellent, the car is quick, it's smooth, and the throttle pedal is pretty responsive even in comfort mode. If it doesn't quite do it for you, then there's always a sport mode, or with this one being the Sport Prestige, it also has a Sport Plus, or you can also set up your own custom drive mode as well. If there's one thing in the powertrain that I had to pick to complain about, it'd be the fact that you can't get the electric supercharger. It would help a little bit from going from a stop, mitigating turbo lag, and help with efficiency as well. But none of those things are bad enough to really call them problems. Honestly, the only reason I even bring it up is because I had the GV80 Coupe that had that powertrain, and I really liked it quite a lot. But again, these are nitpicky things. Outside of maybe the fuel economy, it could definitely use a little bit more fuel efficiency. This one has the electronically controlled suspension, and the ride is quite comfortable even on these big 20-inch wheels. Now, you are going up against air suspension in the E-Class, so that one is likely to ride even better if you want the ultimate ride quality. But again, this one still rides very, very well. And it handles curves with minimal body roll and plenty of poise with that rear limited slip differential and rear wheel steering. And when you're just cruising on the highway, you have the latest Genesis features to keep you centered in your lane and keep your distance as well. Genesis is one of the best in the business when it comes to those things. Same goes for the blind spot detection with the little red indicators in the heads-up display, the instrument cluster, and the indicator on the mirror itself. Plus, when you hit one of the turn signals, you get a little camera feed into your blind spot in the cluster here as well. Forward collision avoidance, rear collision avoidance, and the Sport Prestige has the full 360 cam. It hits all of the high points, and none of those things really get in the way. Genesis continues to kill it with yet another excellent product. And while there are a few things that I didn't love about it, like the glossy black buttons and the giant tacked on screen, and I really wish you could get that electrified powertrain. Even better, I wish that they had made it into a mild hybrid system. It would really be great to see something like that to smooth things out and make it a little bit more efficient. But despite that, I would still absolutely love to live with this car. Now, this one here in the Sport Prestige 3.5T is 77 grand. So with everything you see here today, it is going to set you back $77,000. That's quite a lot of money, but honestly, it is worth it. And that is about what this segment is going to cost you. If you don't want everything here, or that 77 grand is a stretch for you, then the 2.5T is really still quite a good engine, and that's really where the value play comes in. I would be really happy living with the 4-cylinder version of this as well. Let me know what you think down in the comments. As always, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.